Alright, let me be honest with you. Mickey 17 is a movie that you should watch. So I highly recommend 14-year-olds. You have to be at least 14, 15 to watch it. I'm 14. They will probably understand what most of the things is happening inside the book. But one of the few things I do want to talk about here today is Mickey 17, the movie, and how this contrasts with the book a lot. Yeah, it contrasts with Mickey 7 a lot. It's supposed to be based on the Mickey 7 book, but then the movie production was being written when Mickey 7, the book, was coming out. Like, as soon as Mickey 7 came out, they were like, yeah, soon to be a major motion picture. Literally came with the book. But it's incredible. It's an incredible piece of story. It's an incredible masterpiece at all. Bong Joon-ho, another masterpiece from Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho. Yeah, Bong Joon-ho. And you really, really have to watch this movie. But let me start off. I'm going ahead of myself, aren't I? Let me just start off with talking about why this movie is incredible. First of all, if you watch my book summary and review, great. Now, we're here for the movie. Now, in the movie, it differs with the book a lot. In fact, whereas the book is like only thousands of years in the future, the movie is only like 25 years in the future in the context that we are in 2025. Like, and it was released in 2005, and the story is set in 2050. 2050, as in like 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, that kind of stuff. 2050. And whereas in the book there was this, whereas Mickey was being targeted by this guy because he lost a bet and he had to owe this guy some money. This guy decided to listen to Timo. In the book he's Berto and American, but here technically not American, but he's more like a Westerner. At least I always believed he was a Westerner. And then we have Timo here. Timo is all like, yeah, I'm awesome. And I'm gonna do stuff for me. I only represent myself. And they had this loan shark who was all like, yeah, don't pay me back my money, I'll kill you to the ends of the earth. And to the ends of the earth, well, that was incredible. So they decided to get off the earth, whereas Timo became a pilot. Mickey was all like, okay, I really need to get onto the ship. And so he was like, alright, I'm going ahead and applying to be an expendable, and so he decided to become an expendable. He applied for it, and because he was the only one applying for it, he got the job. And no matter how much his job hurt, by the way, this is his hand that got cut off because a wrench hit it. How many viruses he's being injected into his own human body. By the way, his incantations of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, I believe 16 was included into it, were all lab rats for like testing vaccines against the virus. And how much toxic this is, but this is like C something gas. This is like tear gas, but except on a higher level. This would kill him lethally, and they're testing how effective it is against humans. And how much poisonous this is. Like, they're literally injecting him with like, it's not supposed to be poisonous, but it could be poisonous kind of stuff. And how much isolated he is, like how many times a day he has to go ahead and stay in these snowy ice and stuff, and how much freezing this is, how much nasty this job is. This job sucks. Yes, it sucks, but it's still a job. So you aren't getting paid anything. There's nothing you're being paid. There's no monetary value. All you're doing is being a lab rat, and all you're doing is that, well, you're here. You're helping humanity. Though there might be a few implications that you might lose your wits. You died so many times that I'm pretty sure a normal human who died like 16 times, well, died 16 times, that's incredible. They probably would have lost their mind, but they're probably glad that they're still alive. It's like they hit restart, except instead it's not them, it's not him, it's someone else. This job might suck, But here's one thing I do want to ask you about. In the book, there was this thing called the Ship of Theseus, and here it kind of applies, except I'm surprised that they never mentioned the Ship of Theseus. The Ship of Theseus itself is a ship that you go ahead and that has all of its parts replaced one by one along its journey. So by the time it comes back, every part on the ship is brand new, or at least not the same as the original one. So is this still the Ship of Theseus, or is it a completely different ship? Some people say it's still the same ship because in mind, in like material wise, it might be different, but in the mind, it's still the same ship. It's just that you got a completely new body. It's like you go ahead and replace your arm, then you replace your body, then you replace your kidneys, then you replace your then you replace your hair, then you replace your eyes, and well then you replace your brain. But ships don't exactly have brains, so as long as the brain stays the same, it's still you. It might not be the same body, but you have the same mind. Some people argue that way, that's the same person, but people say that you're a completely different person, because although there might be some parts of you that's the same, well then, yeah. My argument though for this is that the Ship of Theseus is not the Ship of Theseus anymore if the crew itself is replaced as well too. Like the captain dies and there's a new captain, and then, well, you know, they hire some people to go ahead and replace the old roles, and then everything, including the crew, is different in my opinion. So that's when the Ship of Theseus is a completely different ship. But if it's not, I would say that material wise it is different, but in the mind of the crew, it's still the same. Something I do want to mention about this movie though is that it's incredible. It's incredible on how accurate and how much Trumpist Marshall is like. In the book, at least he's not stupid. At least he's smart. Sure, he's an ass, but he's not stupid. In the movie though, he's as stupid as... The closest thing I can compare him to in nowadays terms is Trump, and that's not exactly a big thing to be a big fan of. Trump, for some reason, is winning his election. This guy just lost all the elections except one, his very first one, and he and his wife are cynical narcissists. They're like, "Oh, nice sauce! You can't kill him here. That's a rug. What the hell? Be more humane, like in the book." But then again, it does add a higher tone towards this book. It goes ahead and adds us towards a higher tone. And you might not have noticed this, but in the movie, you might see all these dead Mickeys here. This guy's 18. Whereas the ones that's alive is 17. Now, this Mickey, though, is incredible. He himself is the only one who has ever spoken to the creepers. And he's the only one who has been able to actually successfully do something with the creepers. He's the only one who has been able to create harmonious union between two different species. Something that has never been done before, whereas everyone else thought that they were the aliens. Let's think about it. On this planet, we're the aliens. So, what do you say? What do you say towards all this? Dying to save mankind isn't exactly one of the best jobs ever. Another thing I want to mention is that this movie was premiered in Korea, so there's a Korean version of each poster. This job hurts. 앞으로 일해야지. 앞으로 일해야지. Even if this hurts, you still have to do your job. This job is smothering. Even if you can't breathe, like it's smothering, you still have to go to work. This job is toxic. 유해하지만 일해야지. Even if it's like toxic towards you, you still have to do your job. And this job is poisonous. 독해도 일해야지. Even if it's poisonous, you still have to do your job. This job is isolating. 외로워도 일해야지. Although this one's a little inaccurate. Even though you're lonely, you still have to do your job. This job bites. 추워도 일해야지. This one's kind of accurate. Even if you're freezing, you still have to do your job. This job is nasty. 더러워도 일해야지. Dirty. Even if it's dirty, you still have to do your job. This job sucks. Bad word. 같아도 일해야지. And that's about it. That's the entirety of Mickey 17. I really hope they go ahead and turn this into a movie too, but it's highly unlikely because the way they ended the movie was a great way to go ahead and finish a movie too. They do say this job sucks. Yes, this job certainly sucks, but I do think that as a movie, a sequel won't work. As a book, it's already appeared. So go ahead, read the sequel. I have it right here. And imagine this as a movie too. Wonder how this will go as a movie, but then again, the movie and the book are so different that there's nothing. Whereas the book the reason why they banned cloning technology was because there was this one narcissist who overtook an already started up colony by creating hundreds of satellites himself by using material from the native inhabitants, which is mass genocide. And whereas in the movie, the only reason why they went ahead and destroyed the cloning technology was because there was a serial killer who cloned himself 3 times. One of the geniuses who created the cloning technology. And that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And so until next time, Shihan out, peace. Bye-bye.